Just after the game outside the West Brom ground. Fortunate enough to meet an ex-QPR player of ours, Nigel Quashie. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Welcome,
obviously, I know you're busy commitments with your boy and stuff, and obviously we want to get back home after that result today. But good to see you.
Yeah, no, pleasure to be.
Okay, just a few quick questions, as I say. When growing up as a boy, what team do you support?
Manchester United. But obviously, coming through the youth system at QPR, I was always adamant that I wanted to be a part of that club, and you know, they gave me an opportunity. So QPR and Man United, yeah.
Okay, cool. Big team, obviously, Man United. Obviously, Rangers were like, you know, obviously just a club you're coming through the youth, as you say. But yeah, good to hear. What year did you join QPR?
Cool. When I was a kid, it was a long time ago. Probably in black and white, I think back then. But I was 12 years of age, so we're talking.
Yeah, so from a young age, really.
Yeah, we're probably talking about 1994, 92, yeah, something like that. And
how did you feel like joining the club at such a young age? Like,
I was grateful. I was lucky enough to travel all the way from South London and get the tube, come all the way over and train, and you know, I appreciate everything that the club's done for me, and it didn't matter what it took. I just wanted to be a part of the club, and I was grateful for everybody, even the supporters, even from when I was a kid, that supported me.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, mate. Can you remember what team you made your debut against for QPR?
Manchester United away. That's what made it extra special as well, being a Man United supporter as well with my family. But then coming through the youth system at QPR and combining the two, that I've always mainly stuck with.
It was kind of like a win double then, wasn't it? Like you like Man United, and obviously coming through the ranks at Rangers. Was that the game where you pushed, like not pushed, but you held Roy Keane back? Because I did have some pictures, obviously I was going to give to you, but obviously due to issues.
Yeah, I was. Lucky.
That must have been a bit mental, like obviously, like, you know, trying to hold him back as he's a fiery character.
Yeah, definitely. Luckily, it weren't. He was coming after me, so I was managed to sort of stop him from going after somebody else.
Okay, cool. Can you remember who you scored your first goal for QPR?
It
against?
Was Chelsea.
Oh yeah, even better.
in the FA Cup, yeah.
It's always a special, mate. Always a special one against them, though. Anyway, great. What's the most memorable game you've ever played in whilst playing for QPR?
I think it was my first game against Manchester United, but I think it was my first ever game being 12 years of age and coming from South London, you know, in the Peckham area. I was really grateful to be able to go and play football and you know, come out of an area and being given an opportunity. So I'd probably say my first game as a 12-year-old being picked up by QPR. Yeah,
I mean, I suppose you appreciate more, like, obviously, you know, I'm not saying that certain areas are worse than others, but obviously with kids, young guys looking to get in the football world, like coming from certain areas, maybe it is a bit more difficult. I mean, obviously, if you've got the contacts, you've got the ability, then I'm sure hopefully like lots of kids will make it, obviously, if they put their time, the effort and everything else in, kind of thing. But as you just stated there, like, you know, come from like Peckham, South London to do it, that's, you know, you can't get no more than that, really, can you? You put the work rate in, you hopefully get your rewards out of it.
I didn't have a choice, really. I think from where I came from, it was either go and play football, or I think there'd be other decisions to make that would probably put me in a lot of difficulty. And coming from a really rough background, I was fortunate enough to do a 2.5 hour journey, which was walk to Elephant and Castle, get on a train to Oxford Circus, change, go to White City at first and train on the estate right next to the ground, and you know, it really kicked home that I've been given an opportunity, and I've got.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's, you know, obviously from the fans' point of view, we see that on the pitch, like, you know, the performance you give and stuff. You relate to the fans, obviously, like, I mean, and you understand how it is for the fans when they come and watch us play, like home or away kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you're trying to give something back to the fans. You know what I mean? Which is great. I mean, obviously, a couple more questions for you, mate. What was it like playing in front at Loftus Road, in front of a full house, or even not so full house?
Just to be on that pitch in front of these supporters, I can't thank these supporters enough, because I was given an opportunity at a young age to be, you know, to go onto a football pitch, not just at Loftus Road, but at the training ground. But to play at Loftus Road and knowing that I'd made my first game in front of the supporters, but the way that they treated me and my mum, because it was only me and my mum, and walking to games, and I was getting the tube to games, and you know, the fans. Yeah, that's
something in itself. I think, you know, it's like for players to actually get the public transport to games amongst the fans. Obviously, you know, unless someone obviously recognises you, obviously, then, you know, whether you have a bit of time to stop and talk to them or not. Obviously, I assume, you know, if you've got time, you will. Obviously, if you can't, then maybe another time, etc. If you know them, kind of thing, whatever. But yeah, it's that's big in itself to actually just do that alone, like getting the transport.
If it wasn't for the fans, there's never a football club, and football clubs are the fans and players. I've always learned that I needed to be a player that respected the supporters, that always wanted to work hard week in, week out for their money, and I appreciate that they demand effort, not always results, but effort and tireless running and putting a shift in and getting your foot in, and I just wanted to prove to them that I could do that and give something back to what they look for week in, week out, which is hard work.
Well, trust me, that's what the fans want every week. I mean, obviously, if you give that, then the fans will be on your side all the time. Even if we lose, even like in today's game, if you're giving 100%, the fans will appreciate that alone. All right, we want to win, but obviously sometimes you don't. And if you don't put it's the effort, it's the work rate, which is great. Anyway, two or three more questions for you, mate, if you don't mind. Do you keep in contact with any ex-QPR players who used to play for QPR before social media and even with social media nowadays?
Well, obviously I've spoken, speak to Andy Impey and obviously people at the club and stuff like that, and obviously I do have people on social media as well, but it's, football's obviously everybody's up and down the country, players go off and do their coaching and things like that, and have another life after football.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many ex-players that I've seen, like yourself. You've got your academy. Gino's got his academy. I met Gino before and done an interview. David Barzi in America. Obviously, I suppose that's a next step. If you don't get into management, possibly you do the academies for the kids. Which is great because obviously your footballing knowledge and stuff. Hopefully, you can pass it across to the kids of the area, the community, and stuff like that.
If it wasn't for QPR, I wouldn't have a football academy, because everything I'm based on is being a young player. I come through at a young age, and I was given that opportunity by Ray Wilkins. So everything that I learnt within the 4.5 years of going into QPR's first team is based around my academy. I was given a platform at a young age, and I tried to put that infrastructure and that way of life, and not just being a coach, but helping them as people. So everything that I've learned can only come from the beginning, and that's where it all started, which was QPR.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, as you're saying about coaching the kids and stuff, it's more than just football. It's about life, as you say. It's everything, which is great. I mean, let's hope there's many more that do it, because obviously the kids need something to look forward to. If they want to put their heart and soul into trying to be a footballer like yourself or a footballer, then great. That's what the kids want, and it's good that you guys can do that. What teammate had the worst dress sense at QPR whilst you're playing for QPR?
Oh, jeez, there was a few floating around, but I honestly can't remember. I can only go off the best dress sense, right, and at that time, I would say it was Ray Wilkins as the manager. He was always razor sharp.
Yeah, but on the pitch, off the pitch as well, eh?
But then I'd probably say Les Ferdinand. I think I can only go off of what I remember of wanting to present myself and dress.
Yes, not a problem. It's like,
and I can only go off I can only go off as good dress sense. But all the players had good dress sense back in the day. I was really impressed with it.
Were they sharp?
Yeah, there were some good ones. But Ray Wilkins and Les Ferdinand, they were crystal. Yeah, straight, made to measure.
To the point.
Yeah, made to measure. Proper. I call it Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, proper sharp. So,
okay, just my last question for you, and obviously, before we let you go, can you give us an overall summary of your time spent at QPR playing for them?
It gave me a life. It gave me an opportunity. The fans gave me an opportunity, and like I said, if it isn't for supporters of football clubs, you don't get opportunities in life. And the whole infrastructure of the club at that time was phenomenal. But to be able to step onto a football pitch and knowing that I'd been given a chance by a club that is close to me is I can't ever forget, and I really appreciate it, and I'm grateful for everything that the club's given me, which is to go on and have a career. So I can't thank everybody enough, and you guys as well, taking the time to be with me. But I appreciate every single one of them that stepped into Loftus Road.
Okay, mate, thank you very much for that, and I appreciate your time meeting us today after the game. Obviously, I know you've got stuff with your son and that, and obviously a busy man doing your academy stuff. Yeah. But thank you very much.
A pleasure. And
hopefully, will you be coming down when QPR play West Brom down the bush?
Yeah, no, I tried to get down with my son and my family and try to get to a game, but all I can ever. I can't say thank you enough, and I wish all the QPR supporters. I'm always looking for the results week in, week out, and I try and give my son that understanding of what that club means to me as well, and he appreciates it as well.
Okay, well, from myself and fans alike, we appreciate your time at the club. Obviously, every fan has different opinions of players, and you know what I mean. It's obviously personally myself, I thank you for your time whilst playing for us at QPR, and I'm sure many others will. Obviously, if you come across some and even ex-players and that. But once again, thank you for your time.
You're more than
Nigel.
welcome. Great to see you. And
saying about the result today, obviously you're in both camps, obviously both related to both clubs and stuff. But obviously, hopefully, we can both crack on.
That's it.
And get better results throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely, and good luck to everybody associated with the football club, and thanks very much to all the supporters that turned up today. But I have no doubt that QPR will be there every single step of the way, so no problem.
Okay, thank you very much. Very kind words, mate. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. Ladies and gents, that's it from me, DJ Ranger. I'm out of here. Just done the live interview with Nigel Quashie. Hope I spelled his surname, pronounced his surname right. Thanks for his son as well, because he's obviously busy doing his football academy stuff as well. Go check him out, ex-QPR player. That's it for us, QPR fans and Player CV, home and away. I'm out of here, come on you Rs.
London calling to the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down. London calling to the underworld. Come out of the cupboard, you boys and girls.